right, everybody, welcome to the HESN Football Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler McLaren. Glad to be back in the saddle. Another episode of this great thing here at HESN. I want to apologize to everybody about last week's little scheduling snafu. Jesse was moving, and that was an extremely time-consuming event, and we were just busy, and we were unable to get a podcast completed up to the level that we wanted, and we didn't have the proper time to do it, so we pulled the shoot on it, and we decided to come back at you guys this week at the podcast. Right now, it's just me here in the studio. Jesse Card is, again, he's busy out there. He had practice today, and he was real busy with meetings all day, so I will be taking care of the podcast solo dolo right here, updating you guys with all the fantastic football information from our nation's capital. But we will be talking to Jesse later on. We're going to be talking to him a little bit about the Bell Warriors matchup this weekend. It was a tough loss that they had at the Bantam Division, drops them to 3-4. We're also going to be talking about the next HESN event. Lots of like-minded people getting together, discussing the things that is going to help their families and themselves get potentially get to the next level in football. And we're going to be previewing another prep school somewhere else in the States so that you guys have a little bit more information about the next level than you did before you came in. And we're also going to be talking about our new partnership with EPA, as you guys have been seeing on some of the more recent videos. Pat Woodcock and Donnie Ruiz working with HESN Media and HESN Sports Network, and they're going to be all over everything because at the end of the day, we feel that they're doing the best job right now. We're seeing what some of their athletes are doing, like Brad Herbst in St. Mary's. He was I don't even know what the name of the conference is out there, but he was the East Coast Defensive Player of the Week. Also, John Bewald at Western, he got some mentions this week as Player of the Week. And their guys are everywhere, and they're doing fantastic jobs, and we love seeing that. So Jesse will update you guys on a little bit goings on there. Right now, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the unbelievable football that we had in the nation's capital this weekend, and we'll start with what everyone was talking about, the Panda game. I was unable to be at the game personally. Last year, obviously, HESN Media, HESN Sports Network was working with Carleton Ravens, and we were on the field, and I was running with Carleton with the camera on when that Hail Mary was caught by the one, the only Nate Bahar. This year's a different story. We were busy with another project. I was actually at home, and I got to watch most of the second half on, I guess it was on Rogers or OUA.TV. I can't remember where I watched. I watched a little bit of both on the internet a little bit, and I think it was on Rogers as well. But what a game. 48-45, Carleton won. It's a huge win for Carleton Ravens, beating Ottawa U like that. They needed that win. If they wanted any chance to make the playoffs, the Carleton Ravens needed to win the last two games against Toronto and Ottawa U, and they won both of them. They won one of them with good defense and not a lot of points, and then they won another one with terrible defense, really, and giving up an Ottawa Gigi's record, 500-something odd yards. I know my man Aaron Colbin didn't want to see Wendell break that record, but records are made to be broken, so it was a fantastic game, another classic duel between Ottawa Gigi's and Carleton Ravens. It's a rivalry that It's hard to describe why it's so good other than the fact that it's in the nation's capital, but it's heated. There was, I think, over 18,000 people at the Panda game at TD Place. Now we've got this brand new venue. I think it's just going to bring more life into this rivalry. I wouldn't be surprised in a few years if we see that place sold out for the Panda game, which would be an unbelievable achievement. That's something that I would love to see, and I would love to see the City of Ottawa, HESN, and the CAFA, and the Red Blacks all work together to try to make that a reality one day. Coming up for the Carleton Ravens, they're going to have a little bit of a cakewalk game against York next week. Now, that doesn't mean that they need to take it lightly, but based on the records and what we've all seen this year, I expect Carleton Ravens to put out a 20 or 30 point win against the York Lions. Ottawa U, they're going to be playing Wilfrid Laurier. They really need to right the ship at Ottawa U. They were off to a hot start. They beat Queens. They almost beat McMaster. But they've sort of been struggling recently. I don't know the details, what's going on there, but they need to do something quick because I believe they still have some tough games left on their schedule. In other OUA action this weekend, Queens upset Guelph. Yes, Queens upset Guelph. And that's not me saying that Queens is a bad team or anything of that nature, because I think what they're doing down in Queens and what they always consistently do is always remarkable. But I can't believe that they beat Guelph. Guelph is supposedly supposed to be a powerhouse team, national title contenders, apparently. If you lose to Queens this year, based on the other teams that Queens has lost to and almost just beaten, then you can't be a national title contender, because you're not going to be able to hold with the likes of Calgary or Manitoba, Saskatchewan, or even UBC or Laval. By losing to a team like Queens, who lost to a team like Ottawa, who got beat by a team like Carleton, who are all very solid football teams, but I don't believe that those teams are national title contenders at this time in their development. So that's a huge loss for Guelph, not just for their record, but definitely for their psyche. It could do positive things for them. Some of these times these things sort of bounce back and it does create a positive sort of momentum, but I think that's I think they've been on such a streak. I would be worried if I was Guelph, and I'm not going to put too much faith on what they're doing there right now, because that's a bad loss. And teams like Western and McMaster, I don't think they would allow that to happen. So big time disappointment for Guelph there this weekend, but hey, lots of time to redeem themselves. I'm not going to count them out completely, but it was a big one. The other Ottawa team this weekend is the Ottawa Sooners. They lost a great game versus Hamilton at Carleton University, 38-31. We were able to actually get a crew out there, get some great footage of the game. We've been highlighting some of the athletes from the Sooners who are HESN members, and we're really excited to take a look at that footage, show you guys what a great game that was. If you want, you can go check out the website. They got an updated list of their wins and losses so far this year, so you can see how their season has been. They haven't included the most recent one, which is a 38-31 loss, but they have updated up there, so thank you, Ottawa Sooners, for getting that for us, so the fans can sort of stay up to date with the great team. Next weekend, they got a huge game against London, in London. This is really an important game to try to solidify their rankings in the playoffs, and then they got another game at home after that. So remember, follow the Ottawa Sooners. We've got lots of great athletes, a lot of great kids playing there. And you guys can go to the internet, check Ottawa Sooners, and you guys can check it all out. We're going to have a game this week, so make sure you guys check that out on HESN and on our YouTube channel. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk with Jesse Card about what's going to be going on with HESN over the next month. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We're looking for athletes who want to become the best. They don't have to be the best now. We're looking for guys who are willing to fully immerse themselves in the process, trust what we're trying to give them, and that are ready to come and work each and every day. It's grind, right? We go 6 days a week for 12 to 14 weeks, depending on how the season plays out. It just like a training camp, it starts to grind after a little while. So we're looking for guys that have the right mindset, the guys that walk the walk and don't just talk the talk. There's lots of guys, we talk a lot about the guys who like the idea of being a football player, the football jacket guys, right? The guys that want to have the jacket so they can say they play football. We're looking for the guys that really want to play the game.
Welcome back, everybody. Tyler McLaren from the HESN Football Podcast. The voice that you just heard, that's Pat Woodcock, co-owner of Elite Performance Academy. He is looking for athletes right now to register for his off-season training program. If you want more information about how to do that and what they offer at their facility, go to eliteperformanceacademy.ca, or you can go to hesn.co, contact us through there, and we can give you guys all the information that you need. That is eliteperformanceacademy.ca. Go and check them out. All right, everybody, welcome back to the HESN Football Podcast. I'm glad to be joined by my regular co-host, Jesse Card, on the line. How you doing, Jesse?
I'm doing good. Fresh off, a weekend of great football happening, and I was blessed to be able to go to a Red Blacks game last week. So yeah, all is good. And you also you had moved. You got a new place. Yeah, I'm actually, we're calling in from the new place. So lots of change, but kind of finally settled here and ready to go.
Well, we had some great stuff. We're going to get right into a little bit of bantam action. Talk to us a little bit about the Bell Warriors game from this weekend, Jesse Card.
Okay, well, we knew we were going to face a tough Brockville team or Rita Red Blacks team, and we been able to see a few of the games on the CAFA TV. The Raiders, when they played the Raiders, and also the West Carleton early season matchup there. We knew, they moved the ball well. They had a lot of great athletes and massive lines. There's a few guys on the O line of the Red Blacks team who are six. I would say put them at 6'6", 6'7", and just be so pretty intimidating looking team that we matched up, being fairly junior and small in spots. So that was kind of the lead up to the game, but proud of the guys. I mean, we looked at the film that the Warriors had provided for us, and defensively we played a pretty complete game, but at the end of the day, as we all know, football is about the details, and you can do 99% of a play right and still get beat for a touchdown. And in that case, we had some critical points where we had put ourselves in great position to make a play that would really matter. And unfortunately, we came up short in those situations, and that was the difference in that game.
So tough loss again for you guys last week. You guys have been in so many close games this year. It's unbelievable. It seems like no matter what's going on, no matter who you're playing, it comes down to the wire. It shows how competitive and how hardworking your guys really are. Talk to us a little bit quickly about next week's game. You guys are playing the Panthers, and I haven't done the math yet, but if I'm not mistaken, this game could determine who gets in to the A-Cup playoffs. Talk to us about what you guys are going to be looking at.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tyler. We've been in that situation since West Carleton. We opened the season as you know 2-0. Felt good about a young team. We've got a talented quarterback, some really great offensive weapons. But overall, we're pretty young on both sides of the ball. Yeah, that's encouraging in the fact that that Pee Wee team below us is undefeated, and they're going up against another undefeated team against Cumberland as well. That's going to be a great matchup. Can't wait to watch that one. And that's actually happening at 3:00 after the Bantam game, which is a little unusual. But having said that, we've got a young squad with a lot of talent coming up to the Bantam level next year. So, opening the season 2-0 and then dropping a 1-point game to Myers, where offensively we struggled with our quarterback coming off the week before having an injury to his ankle, we've been close, like you said, but I think we matched up well with every team that we've played. Other than that West Carleton game, where I think we had a little bit of how can we put it, a brain fart. But it's encouraging in the fact that the outcome hasn't gone the way we want, but we know that we're capable of beating any team if we play a complete game. And if we can put up 14 to 21 points and eliminate some of the defensive mistakes that we've done in critical situations, I mean, we can beat any team in this league.
You know what, I agree. I think that you guys have weapons all over the field, defensively and offensively, and I can't wait to check out the game this weekend. The CAFA.TV will be doing both of those games, HESN bringing it to you live. So it's going to be some great action this weekend. I want to talk to you a little bit about, speaking of HESN, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the next event that HESN will be holding. Tell us a little bit about the details about that and what we're looking to educate the people on this month.
Yeah, we're really excited. Like, the HESN event, the first one that we did was a really we're really encouraged by that. Not only the turnout, but the value that people got out of that. So we're excited to set up the second one in October. We see that it fits really nicely towards that championship weekend. So on Devil's Night, which is October 30th at the House Edge Media headquarters, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to open it up for anyone involved in the Ottawa football community, coaches, parents, and players alike, to come in, and we're going to be showcasing another prep school down in the United States, getting some feedback and some just some conversation from a few of the people associated there about what they feel about Canadian players and the opportunities that are starting to present themselves for kids here. And we're going to talk also to EPA, who's the official training partner of HESN. Pat Woodcock and Donnie Ruiz are doing some great work. They've got their new early bird special that they're offering the discounted rate for their programs for the off-season complete football determined to dominate D2D program. So we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff on that night. So we want to obviously encourage anyone listening to this to mark that down in the calendars and make sure that they come on down to see what all the stuff that we're working on.
It's going to be fantastic. And last one we did during the day because it was more during the season. We know people have practices and all that such, but we thought with the championship weekend, with the fact that most people are going to be focused on football, but only 2 teams are really going to be playing, we're going to have the ability to really have an open house, and we encourage any kids and any parents from any age division to come and check out what we're doing. It's going to be great. There's going to be lots of great stuff to get, a lot of great information for you guys, and we're really excited to provide it for you.
And on top of that, I'm sure a lot of the conversation we're going to be talking about that championship weekend. We're going to know a little bit more about how the season wrapped up and turned out, and who's who and who isn't. And we're going to be previewing some of that stuff. We're going to probably be picking a few of the top OVFL highlights that HESN highlights that we've done and playing those on the big screen for people. It's just a great time to get everyone that is super passionate about football together in the same room, because when you do that, good things happen.
Well, Jesse, I want to thank you for joining us on the telephone this week on the HESN Football Podcast. We will be back next week, and I'm sure that you will be in-house next week, but if you're not, no problem. But I want to say thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tyler, and so happy with the show. I'm excited for the off season as well. I don't want the season to end, but at the same time, the off season is where the work is put in. So that's no different for us here at HESN too, right? That's
right. So we'll talk next week, Jesse. Later, bro.
Okay, you bet.
All right, everybody. That was Jesse Card from HESN, business partner, doing unbelievable things. So make sure you guys check out all the stuff that we're doing here at HESN. We're going to get right into the power rankings right now. We're going to start with the Pee Wee division, and not much has changed in the Pee Wee division. At the end of the day, at the top, we got the Cumberland Panthers, still number 1. I'm not going against them right yet, but we got almost a 1A, 1B type of scenario going on right now at the Pee Wee division. The Panthers and the Warriors, 1 and 2. Bengals have taken over the 3rd seed. They've been playing great. Number 11 is fantastic. Number 2 on defense, spectacular. They got a great team at the Bengals at the Pee Wee division. They're going to be contending right to the end. Canada Knights, they were undefeated. They've had a couple tough losses. I know the Raiders, I think, beat them a couple weeks ago, but they're still 4 in the power rankings. The Giants, they're a tough team. They played the Bell Warriors real tough. You love seeing that. You know they're going to be a tough test for someone in the playoffs, especially when the weather gets cold. The Raiders, they beat the Canada Knights, which puts them up. They've had a couple tough losses, but they're a tough team, and you got to keep an eye out for those guys. And the Eagles, they got tons of talent. I was able to check out their game against the Orleans Bengals a few weeks ago, and you know what? They didn't play great, but they didn't play great, and they still almost were able to win the game against the Orleans Bengals in Orleans, which is always a tough place to play at Garneau High School. But those are the top teams of the Pee Wee division. With the final weekend of the regular season actually coming next weekend, I can't believe it's already here. Those are the teams that we're going to see competing for the A-Cup Championship at the Pee Wee division. So make sure you guys stay tuned to NCAFA.tv and HESN for all the latest updates and highlights from the games at the Pee Wee Bantam and Midget division. At the Bantam division in the power rankings, not much has changed there either, but we got a logjam at the top. I've really never seen anything like this. We got one undefeated team, the West Carleton Wolverines. They're still our number 1 in the power rankings. They're number 1 because they're undefeated. They're number 1 because they got the best player. And they're number 1 because I think they're the most physical and the most fundamentally sound team at the Bantam division. Number 2, we got Bel Air. I just love what their coaching staff is doing with those kids there. I don't see one particular unbelievable player on that team other than Liam Paquette on defense. I don't see one guy, and their quarterback's pretty darn good too. But I'm not amazed by that one guy. What I'm amazed by is their team. And I think that no matter who they play, no matter what the weather is, the coaching staff will find a way to get their players in the proper position. And what Bel Air does, every game is exciting. They're physical. The game we did against the Bengals this weekend was spectacular. It was a great game back and forth. And you guys check it out on HESN and on the nakafa.tv. It was a great game. So I got Bel Air number 2 in my Bantam power rankings. Number 3, I got the Orleans Bengals. I still feel that with Kean and with Wes and Lake Corte Moore and all the guys they got there on that team, they got a fantastic kicker. The guy's unbelievable. I saw him kicking field goals all over the field. That's going to be a weapon down the line. I think they're their 3rd best team, and I'm excited to see what they can do going forward. Myers Riders is right there. They're 5-1 as well, and you don't want to play Myers in the playoffs. They're big, they're physical, they're nasty, and they're gonna come after you. And so you got to be prepared when you're playing Myers. And I know all these teams I just mentioned, they don't want to play Myers in the playoffs. Nobody wants to play Myers in the playoffs. They're prone to be. They're not favored this year, and they don't like that. And they're going to be out for a little bit of respect in the playoffs. So watch out for Myers. They're 4th in the power rankings. Number 5, you have to go with the Rito Red Blacks. They're 5-1 as well. They've had not an easy schedule. They've had a schedule that's been given to them. You don't want to blame the schedule. They're 5-1. And until someone beats them, until they're not 5-1 anymore, then they're the 5th ranked team on the power rankings. I don't know why they win games. I don't know how they win games. They don't do anything fancy, but I think, like Jesse said, they're big, they're physical, and they keep banging away, and eventually the brick wall crumbles. So they're number 5. Number 6 is the Cumberland Panthers. They've been playing real good football over the last few weeks. I know they started off a little slow, but they've been playing great. I know Coach Willett has had them really focused in. They got spectacular talent there. We know that. And big time game this weekend. I think the Cumberland Panthers and Bell Warriors are playing at the Bantam and Pee Wee division. I think though in the Bantam division, I believe, if my math serves me correct, that the winner will probably get a berth into the A-Cup playoffs. And you know, that's a big thing for them to get in there. So huge game this weekend against the number 7 ranked team on the power rankings. That's the Bell Warriors. Early on in the year, I had them as high. I think I've had them as high as 3 when they were 2-0. But nonetheless, they've had some tough games. They've lost a couple heartbreakers to the defending champions, to the West Carleton Wolverines. They got pummeled by. They lost a heartbreaker to Myers. So they're 7th on the power rankings, the Bell Warriors. But again, they're a dangerous team, and if they can win this weekend and maybe get a game against the Bengals or the Myers Riders in the playoffs, who knows what can happen. Anything can happen with those guys. Number 8 on the power rankings. I just don't think they're going to be able to squeak into the playoffs at the A-Cup, but the Raiders, they're still dangerous, and you don't want to sleep on them either. I think that those are the top 8 teams in my power rankings for the Bantam division. So make sure you guys, again, stay tuned to HESN and nakafa.tv for all the great action that we are going to have coming up to the playoffs, which is, I think, starting next weekend. So it's going to be fantastic. We're quickly going to do the midget division, the midget power rankings. Number 1, the Nepean Eagles. And I am going to say a quick thing about the Nepean Eagles. I was talking to a couple of their coaches who will remain unnamed, but they're great guys. They were a little disappointed about the amount of love that our podcast shows to the Nepean Eagles, because they feel that they put out a good product every week. They feel they work hard. They got lots of talent, and let alone they have lots of talent. They play hard and they play the right way, they feel. So, and I could not disagree with them. So I'm going to give them a little love here. The Nepean Eagles are number 1 on the power rankings, and they are the most dominant team in the league. And I'm not just saying that because they told me to. I'm just going to emphasize the truth a little deeper in this little moment right here. We watched the Eagles play the Norsemen. You guys can check it out on nakafa.tv. The Eagles controlled that game for most of the game. Few turnovers here and there. Really did swing the momentum both ways. But what I saw is the Eagles have some unbelievable playmakers. Number 9 is Eddie's an amazing player, but number 8, he came out of nowhere. I don't know who he is. He's an unbelievable player. Number 27, Sargent, he's a running back. He's fast as lightning. He's tough as nails. He's a really good player. Jacob Spinella is lighting it up. And that defense for the Eagles can eat you up in the middle. You will not be able to run against them inside. You will have to beat them on the outside with speed or with the vertical passing game. So that Eagles team is very, very good, and I do not foresee anybody beating them. I believe it's going to take a lot from somebody to compete and beat with them. But hey, that's why we play the game. So Eagles are number one. I hope that's enough love for you guys. You guys have earned it. That's why I'm giving it to you guys, all right? So number 2 on the power rankings is the Norsemen, and I think I've been showing a lot of love to the Norsemen. I love what they're doing there. I think they got a great team. They're physical. They got some great players on offense and on defense, but they've lost to the Eagles twice. Both games have been a little different. One was more of a shootout. This one was more of a defensive battle. But nonetheless, Norsemen number 2. Number 3, I got the Stamps number 3. Again, little hometown love. I'm from that neighborhood, Mustangs and Raiders. That's where I sort of grew up from. Nonetheless, I believe they have the third amount of talent. They have the third ranked team in the league based on talent. So they're 3 on my power ranks. And number 4 ranked team are the Rideau Red Blacks. I think that they can beat the Stamps. If they played again, they could beat them. But at the end of the day, I think that the Eagles, the Norsemen, and the Stamps are 1, 2, 3. The other teams, as you can see in the midget division, they've had some trouble with numbers. I believe high school has really been affecting them. A lot of these kids do play sometimes both of the high school and the CAFA, so it's hard to pull them between both things, especially when the season has been going tough for some of these teams. So those are our power rankings for this week at the HESN Football Podcast. It's been an amazing year of football in the nation's capital. Carleton is relevant. The Red Blacks are relevant. Ottawa U, they're playing great. NCAFA, registration numbers are fantastic. OVFL, we had another Ottawa champion. So there is some fantastic things that are happening in the nation's capital, always with the sport of football. I want to thank everyone for joining us on the HESN Football Podcast. I don't even know what episode this is. It doesn't matter. It's the newest one. Next week, we're going to be back. I promise you that. Jesse will be most likely in studio. It's going to be great. We're going to be really breaking down the playoff matchups, and we're going to be taking a look at what's going to be going on in the playoffs and the CAFA. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. Tyler McLaren, I'm out of here. Peace.